My soul bows to you. Namaskar. Namaskar everyone and welcome to day 21. Went quickly, didn't it? And I want to thank you, those of you who have sent me the feedback as to how much you enjoy these 21 days. What is the subject of today? Ultimate well-being. Ultimate well-being. Can we ever have ultimate well-being? This series is meditation for total well-being. Yes, we can have ultimate well-being. Needless to say, it's not going to be in the physical body. Physical body is not our ultimate reality. Physical body is a gift from nature to us. It is constituted of the elements of nature. It's designed by nature. It has its own cellular intelligence that is different to our spiritual intelligence. So ultimate wellness has to lie outside of the domain of physicality. Ultimate wellness lies in pure consciousness. So our body becomes physically challenged by the constraints of nature. Polluted air, polluted water, polluted food, stressful life. A body that was designed to live on an average of 120-25 years. Now, between 60 to 80, 90, and we have centenarians, but they are fewer. And we have strayed away a lot from nature. And the science of well-being is deeper than we know. It's not based on physicality. So taking the right medicines, the right herbs, the right food substances, it's more than that. Those are important. But it's more than that. Now let's look at this subject closely. Within the physical body, driving the physical body, is a subtle energy being. You do not see because of the organ of the eye. You see because of the pranic power behind the eye. You do not speak because of some chemistry of brain and the physical body. You speak because of pranic energy called udana moves from inside of you to bring the speech out. There's a subtle part of you that governs all the senses. And in the science of yoga, we have the senses of knowledge that bring information into our consciousness, the seeing, the smelling, the hearing, the tasting, the touching. Those are called Gyan Indriyas. Indriyas means the powers of the senses. And we have the powers of action that come from the subtle body. And they are grasping, moving, sexual action, bowel activity, and speaking, the 5 powers of action. So all of these are coming from your subtle being. So body is driven by a subtle body. Now subtle body is different. It's not physical. It's energetic. It belongs to that field of quantum energy. Subtle energy that can change into anything. Now your mind is in the subtle body. So when you're thinking, those thoughts are being generated in a subtle body, influencing the physical body. Outside of the physical body, when your energy body is outside of the physical body, like in astral travel or in soul travel, the powers of the senses are still there. The powers of action are still there. And mind is still there. Feeling is still there. Vital energy is still there. All the energy centers that I speak to you about, the chakras, are still there. So your true existence lies beyond the body and can exist outside of the body. Your subtle energy being is independent of the body. It drives the body. Body is fashioned so it can be driven by this subtle energy being of chakras, of pranas, of mind, of emotion, powers of action. But this subtle body can only have disease. And listen to this. Your subtle energy body can only have disease if your mind identifies with disease. Your mind is the most powerful part of you. If your mind thinks that it is sick, you identify with sickness, psychologically you are making yourself sick. And we know that a lot of the illnesses are psychosomatic. It's coming from the mental domain. So what about if you do not think that you are sick when the body is sick? If you have subtle energy, body awareness, and identity, you will know that you are not sick when the body is sick. So you need to look very carefully at how you're thinking. If your thinking is identification with the physical, then you are contracting your consciousness to an illusion. Thinking that you are what you are not. So can your mind be always outside of the illusion? Can it not identify with physicality, but influence physicality and drive physicality from its own independent reality? Your mind has an independent reality to the brain and to the body. And that's a distinct difference that we try to make in the meditation. So no matter what is happening to the body can be terminally ill, body can be chronically ill, body can be challenged by the petty illnesses. You, the mental being, the emotional being, are not ill. But of course, because of the strong power of illusion, we tend to think that we are ill when the body is ill. That's a huge illusion. But it's designed to be a part of the play. So how do we really go beyond the mind to see what the mind really is, that we can clear the mind of the illusion? And that's going to the realm we call pure consciousness. So your mind will only contain sicknesses when you identify with the physicality of the body and its condition. So if your mind is associated with pure consciousness, if your mind is driven from the field of pure consciousness, which is the consciousness that is beyond the mind, then you are in the domain of ultimate wellness. So the goal would be to take the mind, the most powerful part of you, to the domain of ultimate wellness and stay there. That is the timeless space. That is the immortal space. Your mind is immortal. Body is mortal. Your mind is associated with the field of pure consciousness. Your mind is a tool of that field of pure consciousness. So every time you go to create a thought, you are doing that from the field of pure consciousness, but you're not aware of that. So the goal would be to come more and more into the awareness of the pure consciousness field. And that is why I ask you to develop a silent mind. We can even speak from a silent mind. We can feel in a silent mind. And the truth is, if we are speaking from a silent mind, we are also listening. And we are also observing what we are saying. When we do not speak from a silent mind and a noisy mind, and a mind that is carried away by the physical reality, then we have a deluded mind, a mind that lives in illusion. Where do you want your mind to be? It is said that your mind can be your greatest enemy. That's when it's caught up with illusion of the material world through the senses. Or your mind can be your greatest friend when your mind is associated with pure consciousness. So the chakra of the mind is at the center of the eyebrows. It's called the Ajna chakra or Agya chakra. It is the chakra of command. It's the command and control center within you. The center of pure consciousness is at the crown. So these two need to be in a strong association with each other, so that the power of listening is strong, the power of expansivity is strong, and the power of command, control, self-mastery is strong. That's these two chakras. See why they're in the head? See why they're in the high spot of your being? The most powerful part of your being? So this is what needs to be given attention to in the meditation. The realm of pure consciousness that renders us silent, observant, in the witness, a detached witness that is immersed in the blissfulness of the consciousness space. In the consciousness space is a blissful experience of freedom. That's called Ananda. That is in the space of ultimate wellness. It's a joy that is there regardless of the condition of the body. So it's extremely important to observe the mind and see how the mind is identified with limitation, and slowly begin to transform the mind that is not caught in limitation, but limitlessness. There are no free lunches, so you cannot jump into pure consciousness just because you want to take a chemical substance that may render the mind silent and a little more expansive. It doesn't last. You need to work diligently, committedly, devotedly to transforming the mind, pulling it away from attachment to the senses and to the objects of the senses, and bringing it back slowly to observe itself. And you need to use the discriminating consciousness to do that. You cannot do it blindly without discriminating power. So that's why in the Gayatri mantra, we pray for that discriminating power to be full of light. Dhiyo yona prachoryat. Beautiful mantra. It says, O you who govern all the chakras with your light. Om bhurбhuva swa. That's all the chakras. Tat savitur varenyam bhargo devasya dhimahi. I meditate upon you and your effulgent being. I meditate on that radiance that can drive away all darkness. And it says, please illumine my discriminating mind, my intellect. Dhiyo yo na prachodayat. Amazing mantra. It is a mantra that is inviting you into the space of ultimate well-being. And we chant too for well-being that mantra that is called the Mahamrityunjaya mantra. That is a mantra for dissociating from everything that is unhealthy. Connecting to the immortal consciousness within, that timeless space. And centering in that aura of abundance and prosperity. Sugandhim pushtivardhanam. It says your fragrance nourishes and brings prosperity. And it addresses the supreme on the inside. Trayambakam yajamahe. Trayambakam is the all-seeing, the all-knowing. We honor you. Om Trayambakam yajamahe. Sugandhim pushtivardhanam. And take away every attachment that is binding and limiting and unhealthy. Urvarukamiva bandhanan. Mrityur mokshya. Even death. Take it away. Free me from it. Mokshya. And hold me in immortal consciousness. Don't keep it away from me. Mamritat. Om Trayambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarukamiva bandhanan mrityur mokshya mamritat. So these are powerful mantras for opening up the consciousness, centering you in that space of limitless being. Giving you the power to detach from everything that is unhealthy and holding you in the consciousness of ultimate wellness. Beautiful mantras. Learn them. But more importantly, realize them in your being. So, coming to that space of ultimate wellness, it means that you go beyond birth and death, beginning and end. That's the consciousness of true well-being. No disease. So do not identify with disease that your mind becomes unhealthy. The mind should always be healthy. Always hold in your mind a template, an energy model of perfect well-being. Emotional health, mental health, vitality in the body, and the strength behind the physicality. Always hold a template in your inner space, in your subtle energy body. Using your mind, create that template of perfect well-being. No matter what is the condition of the body is not you. You live in the body, it's a vehicle. But in the real you, always hold a template of total well-being. Let that vibrate into every cell, total well-being. No matter what the condition of the body is. And when you really realize your true nature as pure consciousness, you will be ultimately well for always. No fear of birth and death or disease. So it is the ultimate wellness or well-being of your inner being that will drive wellness into the physical body. So the physical body at its best will be optimally well, because as you grow older, organs will become inefficient, more inefficient. Body will begin to deteriorate. Your body was designed to deteriorate over time. But you want it to do so gracefully. And whilst you're maintaining its level of wellness through the inner energies that are the real elixir. The inner energies are what will bring that vibrancy to every cell, holding every cell in the energy of light, that it may receive the nourishment that you're getting from the outside. So it's important to hold the body every day in the wonderful vitality, that elixir of prana, of subtle energy. So through the breathing, through the chakras, always maintain. This is maintenance. Always maintain that pranic power at every level of being. Never lose it. Even when the organs become challenged, the pranic center there, or the chakra, should be powerful. So this is our talk today. What is ultimate well-being? It is that state beyond death and birth, beyond disease. And remember, more than anything else, do not let your mind become diseased by your diseased thoughts. Transform the thought to always being a thought of wellness, well-being. So be well always, no matter what the condition of the body is. Be well in the inner space and be optimally well in the outer. That's the goal. So thank you for joining us for this 21-day series. Now let's go into our meditation of today. So let's come into that space of the silent mind. So the goal, as you would see, is coming to the center of ultimate well-being. Use the power of the brow, as I've taught you. Use the Ujjayi breath, and keep the spinal column straight. Now, associate your mind with every chakra, because the mind is connected to every chakra and is influenced by every chakra. When the mind becomes more elevated, more conscious, and more in control, when its ajna power, its power to command, is more, then the mind will influence these centers. When the mind is weak, these areas in the body will influence the mind. So take your attention to every chakra. When you center in that mental space, take your attention to every chakra. Now use the breath. Why use the breath? Because breath is prana. It moves prana into the body. So breathe out with attention down the spinal column, right down to the root, connecting with the floor. Feel the floor, feel the perineum area and the contact with the earth. And remember, when you go to perineum area and the earth, there is more consciousness of the physical being. And the sense of smell becomes activated. And the feet becomes energized. With the power of action. And in your consciousness, as you breathe in, keep a firm perineum consciousness. You can do so with the mind, if the mind is powerful enough to maintain that, its connection with the perineum, or you can do so muscularly as well. If the mind is not yet that strong to feel perineum power, then just contract the muscle to the extent that you feel connected to the body and grounded to the earth. Now your breathing out should be a strong enough one that you feel grounded. Keep the body firm. When in perineum action, you can hold the knees firmly because that will ground you more into the body. And breathing with the Ujjayi breathing right up the channel. So you're testing the channel now for its openness to movement along the channel. And pull the breath along the channel. right to the back of to the throat and back of the neck, and then to the third eye. And really explore third eye power. It's an energy, a commanding energy, a driving energy, a guru energy. And just work from the center of the eyebrows. It's a power center, so it's not just focusing at the skin. It's getting in touch with the power that lies there. And breathing, energizing the entire column. Keep the tip of the tongue just behind the teeth, or wherever the tongue can be comfortably placed on the palate. And keep it there throughout the meditation. So you're breathing down to the body. You're nourishing the body with the out breath, the prana of the out breath. And you're breathing in, taking the attention upward. So you are following with the mind two important meridians, governing meridians as you go up and along the spine, tapping into the energy of your infinite being. At the chakra points, you're communicating with your center of infinite energy. And when you breathe down, you bring that energy to nourish the body along what we call the functional meridian or the conception meridian. Push the breath out consciously and pull the breath in. You're going to find that you're going to be grounded to the earth, anchored in the mind. Brain is being energized with prana that you're breathing in. And how long do you do this for? For as long as you need to. You're filling up with prana. You're charging up the powers of the senses and the energy that is behind the nervous system. That pranic power will recharge the nervous system. And the energy centers will influence the endocrine glands. So, the first lesson is to come into the space of ultimate well-being, where the consciousness needs to be cleared. Remove any conditioning that makes the mind psychologically sick or limited. Hold the mind in the consciousness of total well-being. The more you tap into the center of the pure mind, the more you'll be able to hold that consciousness. So clear the mind of stray thoughts, limiting thoughts. Hold the mind in the brightness of being, Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat, in the light, the divine light. Center in that brain and breathe energetically into the brain. Keeping the tongue in position. And just observe, witness the recharge that is happening. Even if you don't see it fully, just observe. It will begin to appear in your consciousness. Brain will feel different. Mind will feel different. And even as you focus on that brain center, do not lose the awareness of the perineum. and the spinal column. That keeps you in total body awareness. Now, give attention to the sacral chakra. It's a very powerful chakra. It heightens the sense of taste. When it's activated, you will actually feel more conscious of thirst. So breathe in into that sacral area and take that attention upward to the belly, to the heart, and to the brow. The vital center in the core, the emotional center at the heart, and the mental center at the brow. So you're burning that second chakra energy into the fires of vitality, allowing it to spread its energies through your being. In doing that, you extend the breath, because you're recharging the physical area. The breath only needs to be shallow when it's deeply in the crown. But when you're energizing the body, extend the breath. Come into pranayama mode, which is extending the breath. Now for some of you, you may find that with the prana, you're breathing through both Ida Pingala, nostrils equally. That brings you into the sattvic consciousness of balance. If you focus on breathing in through those two nadis, the more you come into third eye focus, the more you'll bring those two nadis together. That you will breathe through both of them together with the third eye. And that's powerful experience of the sattvic state of balance. And if you feel an imbalance between the Ida Pingala, then create a balance with the alternate nostril breathing, as I have taught you, without the fingers. Only if you need to use the fingers, use it, but focus more on the prana of the two nostrils. You'll begin to experience what Pingala is like. It brings more sun power to the body, solar power, more vital power to the body. Left nostril brings more lunar power, more coolness in the mind, more calmness. So you can play with balancing the nadis there. And if you are breathing through both at the same time and you have the power of the ajna, the third eye, to breathe in both at the same time, then you keep the sattvic breathing going. The deeper your eyebrow center becomes, the more you'll find that you can breathe in both together. The more the sattvic mode will come. And now explore. Breathing into the navel fully, spending a little time there, and feeling the empowered experience of navel power. It brings firepower into the gut, more vitality through the entire body. Influences digestive fire and in the intestinal area, and metabolic fire in the cells. Firepower. Holding that image of total well-being. Never let the mind deteriorate into limitation of wellness. Keep the mind in a state of total well-being. Even though body might be optimally well, keep that template of total well-being in the consciousness. And when you come to your heart, observe the huge, nourishing experience in the emotional center as you open up the loving being. A very powerful experience indeed of the heart. It gives a nourishing power. It is a center of sustenance in the subtle space. It sustains our soul being as you open up to loving being. Loving is healing, it's sustaining, it's like a balm. It's rejuvenating in the emotional space. It's an elixir. So when you go to the heart, you're coming into the sense of touch. So you can feel the skin becomes more sensitized to touch, and the palms of your hand. And then go to the throat. That opens you to spaciousness, expansivity in the mind, in the consciousness. And so it brings more consciousness to every area and more intuitive power to every area. That's why throat consciousness is so important. Now come into that experience of limitless being that brings you more into that space of ultimate wellness. And as you breathe into the throat, breathe deeply into the heart. Now the breath will tend to become shallow, and that's fine now. You've energized the body. So now you are energizing the subtle space, the emotional center and mental center. So if the breath becomes shallow, that's fine. Stay with it. And now go deep into the center of the brow with the heart awareness and with the throat awareness, opening up the crown consciousness. And now you're in a center of ultimate well-being. You are deep within your being, center in immortal consciousness. Just breathe into that third eye center. Open up to breathing through the two channels equally. The more third eye awareness you have, the more you will feel that the sattvic state is coming in. And the prana of two nostrils are coming in equally. So focus on equal breathing through Ida and Pingala, the heating and cooling breath. And third eye focus. And stay with that third eye focus until you feel this intoxicating feeling in the head. The outer prana will become less and the inner prana will become more. And that is a space of ultimate wellness. There you're always well because it's beyond the body. It's in the heart of the soul. And if you observe carefully, you can still feel the connection to the perineum area. And you can feel a clear column or the column becoming clearer. Stay with that. Enjoy that space. You're coming into the space of ananda, inner bliss. Even if you do not feel it completely, just feel it a little bit, that little bit will grow into plenty. Give that little bit a lot of attention. And here you come into the non-doer awareness as you allow yourself to be guided by the power within you. The evolutionary energy. It has been the one that you've been aligning to in this process. Now you can be completely aware of her. Acknowledging that she is the guide. She's the guru. She's the supreme within you. And here, we'll conclude our meditation today. To you I bow, Supreme One, in the crown consciousness of my being, submitting my ego to you completely. Keep me ultimately well. Grant me the gift to keep on maintaining my physicality, my physical being, optimally well. Through every energy center, through the power of intention, and through your grace most of all. I bow to you. I pray that you will give me the consciousness of immortality. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivartanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityur Mokshya Mamrita. Free me from every attachment of my mind and ego that is unhealthy, and free me from the consciousness of death. Hold me in that immortal consciousness of well-being. I bow to you. Nourish me. Keep me in the fragrance of abundance and nourishment. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you, everyone. This was day 21, the conclusion of an amazing series. I didn't intend to do this series, but the divine intended. I just wanted to give you an experience of daily meditations at the center. And out of that, mushroomed this. I'm so pleased. So we need to go through these again. What we're doing for you is that we're going to package these into videos and into instruction manuals that you can use. This 21-day program. And what we are seeking to do now is to create a webinar where I can talk to all of you online and answer your questions and discuss the processes with you and continue to help you on your journey to wellness. So look out for announcements from us as to how to join the webinar. And for the packages we are going to have for you online, look out for them. They're going to come very soon because we have been working on them. So thank you for joining us on this 21-day series. Of course, streaming will continue and we'll announce. And those of you who can view our healing programs every Wednesday, please do so. And continue to visit us on Facebook and on our website. I want to wish you a day of wellness. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on these 21 days. Of course, I'd love to get your feedback. And for those of you who have been giving me your feedback, I want to tell you how much I appreciate it. It helped me to design the program. Have a blessed day, everyone. My soul bows to you. Namaskar.